Hello and welcome to This Naked Chat, a podcast where six friends from different walks of life come together for honest, unscripted conversations about living alcohol-free and everything that comes with it. We all met at a live event hosted by Annie Grace of This Naked Mind in March of 2024. What started as a mastermind group with the six of us and Annie turned into some really deep friendships, filled with connection, tough conversations, and a lot of laughter. And after a year of growing and learning together, we realized that these conversations might help more than just us. So here we are, no scripts, just real talk. We are incredibly grateful to Annie and This Naked Mind for helping us get this off the ground and for the impact that her work has had on each of our lives. I am Brian, and I am joined by Kori, Agnes, Judi, Jenie, and Sammie. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, and you have a coffee, or what is that?
Iced coffee.
So, more caffeine.
Salute.
Wonderful.
Salute.
Wonderful. We're going to be all jacked up. I love it. There's only four of us, so Judi, Agnes, Sammie, Brian today. Yay. We can do this. We can do
Yay,
this.
us.
Here we go. Let's see. Why is this piece of paper so little?
Is that the question?
No, yeah. Discuss amongst yourselves. Oh, this is okay. Trust in ourselves and others. What does trust mean?
That
Was that good?
That was
good?
That was really
that was
good.
brilliant, Brian. How you gave that out.
Yeah, trust.
People are going to be saying, "Why are you laughing and clapping for him to say that?" Because I trust that he did it correctly.
Oh, that's so good. Trust in ourselves and others. What does trust mean? Anyone want to start? No?
Not it.
I've been thinking about this a lot lately from a perspective of when you're going through a change and like you could make this alcohol or whatnot, there is a level of trust that's so uncomfortable that something on that other side is going to be better than what's on this side. And that's all it really can be. You know, that's what that means to me. And like this like even the stuff that I'm kind of going through right now is so uncomfortable to just let go of everything because I have no idea what's going to happen when I do that. Does that make sense? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
like to me, that is the full trust. And like, if I really let go of all of this, these things that I've been holding on to or that definitely no longer serve me, but they're comfortable. They're painful, but they're uncomfortable, but I know them, so I hold them. And letting them go and trusting that whatever is over there is going to work out is to me is what trust is right
But
now.
trust has variety, does it not? I mean, if we
Sure.
were just, how would we just give a Webster's definition of trust?
Well,
Go,
let
Brian.
me do that. Let me do
Go,
that
Brian.
right now.
Because trust trust is multifaceted. It's not just a given, depending on the situation. It's an earned thing. I mean, and it's not, you can choose to trust someone, or can you? Is it deeper than that?
Oh, so that's like, okay, so, wow, there's a bunch of them. Assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. One in which confidence is placed. And I think maybe that's the one you're looking at. I was maybe more on this like dependence on something future or contingent.
Well, so it's like you put your trust in doctors, you put your trust in teachers, in therapists, you put your trust in those individuals that are providing some form of service to you. So when you're going on any type of life experience, you have to have that form of trust. And sometimes I feel like, is it that gut feeling that you're relatable to that person, or you have that feeling inside like, yes, you know what? you walk into that room and you know that you are safe within that organization or facility or person or whatever the case it may be. And then there's that whole trusting your family, your friends, trusting your secrets, or again, holding that space of being able to trust that you can share your emotions and they're safe, and not that you are being judged for them, or that it is being used against you in a way that would hurt your heart or hurt your feelings or whatever. So I think it's so widely, it could be widely used for so many different things. But I think it comes down to, again, it could be, it's so personalized and individualized for everybody. And if it's not communicated, if somebody doesn't understand that, then it may not go exactly the way that you feel. And you may feel like you can't trust that person again.
So
Does that
here's
make
the
sense?
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now here's the question. Are we born with the ability to trust, or are we born neutral to that and we learn? Because I think how we respond in trust to doctors, to dentists, to therapists, to friends, I think that all is up here. But down here we have this under, now this is just me, so it's not a scientific thing. Sammie will give us the science. But are we born with this innate ability? We just trust. Are we just trusting beings when we're born, and then all of life comes in and screws that out of us? Or do we learn it? That's the question I have. What do you think?
I think we're born with it, and then it changes over time. Again, as a child, you're born, you're so innocent, you want to explore, you want to have fun, you want to do all of that. And I think that that is something, it's almost like animals, right? They have that instinct within them. So they know, you know what, something feels, their body responds before their brain does, right? Something feels not right over here. So you pull back a little bit. So I think that to a point we're born with it, but we learn how to shut that down pretty fast instead of exploring it and then following what society teaches us
So we're born with trust until we learn different.
until we learn different.
That's what it feels like to me too. I'd be interesting in your take there, Judi, but like it feels like, and that seems like a lot of things in life, that like, you know, like touching a hot stove almost, of like, I didn't know that until I did it. I probably had trust until someone broke that for me. And then I didn't trust. And probably throughout the years, I've had to maybe work on regaining that with some, you know, either groups of people or people in my life. I don't know. What was your thought on that?
Or are we born and we trust because we don't know any, we don't have a choice. We have to trust. We're 100% dependent on bigger people to take care of us.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't know any different. So we're born with that innate trust. I mean, this is a conversation. I don't know an answer. So we're born with that innate trust. Go. I'm sorry, Sammie, go.
Well, I was just going to say that it's hard to know whether we're born with or without, but because we don't know, we can't remember that from that early age, whether that was a conscious thing that we trust somebody at such a young age. But what I think we quickly become aware if trust is broken. So I think we learn mistrust.
So we're born in trust until something in life screws it up.
Gosh, that's what it seems like to me.
I mean, like in a new relationship, you develop a relationship with somebody and things go along and you grow in trust, right? The more you know them, the more you grow and you go, oh, yeah, yeah. And then something happens and that trust that you had developed it's broken somehow. And
Well,
then
that's-
that you have to go back and they have to, it's like any of us, right? All the hoo-ha things we did when we were using anything, we broke a whole lot of trust with people.
Well,
right?
we broke a lot of trust with ourselves. I think that's a massive part of it as well, isn't
right.
it?
But then with other people, and then, right. So first we have to learn to trust ourselves back.
Yeah.
And then once we learn to trust ourselves, can we allow that work to work towards other trusting us? But sometimes others trust us before we can trust ourselves.
That's exactly like, that's why I think that example you used of going into a relationship, like I'm thinking like right now, if I were to start a relationship, that trust would have to build. I don't go into it with it because I don't know who this person is. But I was wondering then with Sammie's comment is if that's more about myself, and
life experience,
like going
isn't it?
into it with like,
because yeah,
I'm putting up a blocker, a protector. I'm not trusting this person off the bat. They're going to have to earn it from me because I can't accept that, to start to lead with trust, I guess, on anyone else. I wonder.
So what? Go, Sammie. I
was just going to say, so because it's almost like when we first sort of arrive, if you like, into the world, we haven't maybe any reason not to trust. Mm-hmm. But when we get to our age, we'll have had probably quite a few experiences, some caused by ourselves, by our own behaviours, where that we have reasons to be more distrustful of ourselves and others. So
for sure,
it's almost like peeling back. It's taking the layers off again, isn't it? It's things that have been piled on as we've experienced.
That's what it does feel like, right? Is like it seems like it would be a beautiful place to lead with trust and let it be hurt. To walk into relationships with full trust and like basically you're seeing it from the good side, whereas we've almost been so programmed over the years to kind of come with a lens that's a little more negative and seeing problems of like, I'm not going to open myself up to you until I can trust you. Versus it seems to me that it would be a really nice place to be able to just come into whatever it is, a relationship, just meeting someone else, being like, I'm going to be open and trust and free with you until you prove otherwise. And not looking for it though. Just being like open-hearted with that.
Well, and what's interesting with that, I mean, I do think that becomes, I'm just thinking about my last clinic that I ran, right? When anyone new came in to my office, I would always say to them, I trust you 100% until you give me something not to
exactly.
Trust.
Yeah.
But what I found with that, rather than saying what most people say to people who are really heavy duty drug dealers, oh, you're a big loser, we don't trust you, you're blah, blah. Rather than approach them that way, I could trust myself to manage them if they broke that trust. I could trust myself in that situation. But I also found if I said that to them, I gave them a higher bar.
Right.
Rather than look at them, oh, you're just the scum of the earth, like everybody else had looked at them.
And themselves are looking at.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would say to them, I trust you until you give me something not to trust. So welcome. And some of them, it just blew their socks off. But they rose to the expectation.
I mean, that's, to me, and that's why I love how you phrase this question, because now I'm almost turning, is like, it's almost like, yes, okay, we were probably born with that level. I still maybe believe that. And we let it go. And it would be better to get back to that, where we did honestly lead with trust. Like we had it. That would be really cool.
Well, I think but to Sammie's point, when we get back to, we have to do that first for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's an inside job.
Yeah, you're right.
It is an inside job.
It's all an inside job. It has nothing to do with anything outside of us.
Yeah, you just have to keep doing it then, huh?
That's exactly it, right? Because you have to trust yourself that you are making the right decision and the best decision that you can right there in that moment. And regardless of what the outcome of that decision is going to be, you are powerful enough and safe enough to be able to manage whatever that experience is. So it's a full around trust of self and not anybody else at all. And that's where it all does stem from us.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah,
Don't you
when you
think
were
that's
saying,
to do with? Sorry, I was just
no,
going
have
to
at it,
say
Sammie.
that part of it's the layer of that is the judgment, isn't it? Because we if we make a decision and we deem it the wrong decision afterwards, that's because we put a judgment on ourselves for making that wrong decision. Whereas there is, some may say, no wrong decision. It's just learning. Whichever way, whatever happens, it's a learning. So if you can trust innately that you'll be okay, whatever, and not judge yourself, then
Yeah, I was thinking kind of a similar line of like, it's a fear of like, we're protecting ourselves from, because we could get hurt. Like, right. And so to Agnes's point, if we trust that we can handle that hurt, or if it happens, then we can be open down here, maybe. But
Yes.
like, right. I like that perspective that you did. Yeah.
And then rather than label it hurt, we can just say, all right, it's a learning experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like our data points.
I'm so
right?
afraid of being hurt that I'm going to just block, or I'm going to, be a shell of myself almost.
But it's not even everyone around us is afraid of being hurt. Like there's so much fear. Like we all live, if we really take a look at it, we all live in fear. So again, even as babies, as parents, don't touch this, don't go here, don't do that. Like that's all fear coming from us. And we're projecting it on the children, right? So it's all, again, comes to that full circle of that inner self, which immediately, again, you don't understand, you don't realize what's going on. How can you? You're a child. So I feel like you lose that pretty quick, but it's always there. Like it doesn't go away. You can always have that relationship with yourself and have that trust within yourself, because again, it goes back to that instinctual part of you that within your body, maybe not your mind, because your mind is the one that has that fear and all of that, right? Or the stories to cause the fear. But again, within your body, and if you could learn how to connect with your body that way, then that trust will build. And then you'll know that, you know what, this was the right decision, or I did the right thing, or yeah, I did pick the right therapist, doctor, or I did do what's right for my education. Like it doesn't matter what you do, you'll know that you did the best that you could through those choices and feelings.
This episode is sponsored by The Path by This Naked Mind. It's a year-long program that combines expert guidance, daily support, and a connected community to help you take back control of your drinking so that you can wake up without regret, trust yourself again, and live a life that doesn't revolve around alcohol. Unlike the programs that focus on your behavior alone, The Path helps you eliminate the desire to drink using science-backed content, world-class coaching, and a compassionate community that really, truly gets it. So you can feel confident and in control of your relationship with alcohol without shame, without rules, and without missing out on the things that matter most. And in 2025, support is more accessible than ever before with live online coaching calls every hour on the hour from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Saturday. No matter where you are in the world or what your day looks like, support is always there, right in your back pocket. Learn more and start your path to freedom at nakedmindpath.com.
I think it's a John Lennon quote, isn't it? It'll be all right in the end, and if it's not all right, then it's not the end. So it's almost that, it's kind of going a little bit into that place of, if we're part of something much bigger, then, ultimately it's that trust that, it will be okay.
And people need to earn our trust. So I think that is true as well. I think, again, it's that both and. Like, they do need to earn our trust. We can't, we can't just completely give it away. I don't know if there is how you could give that away. But they do need to, again, depending on what kind of person this is, like what the relationship is, um, you have to build on that. I think that that is one of those things that you build with other individuals, but you always have it within yourself. You just need to learn how to tap into it all the time.
I also think it's a situation of power where you are in the relationship, right? Like when I have my clients come in, I could say to them, I trust you until you give me something not to trust, because I was in the power seat with them, right? They were my clients. They were coming to me to help fix them. So I had that upper, like in a therapist situation, they're in the power chair, right? You go in the doctor's office, they're in the power chair. When we meet with clients, we are in the power chair. And if we misuse, I mean, it's imperative that we are worthy of the trust. I mean, even with friendships or I mean, anything. I don't in a mutual relationship, the power is kind of equal. You still have to be worthy of that other person's trust. They can't just blindly trust, because that doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah, which then I think that it also goes again to that whole, you have to know what that looks like for you and what that means to you, and you need to communicate that, because I could be having a conversation with a friend, and I could be sharing something that's important, but I trust that they're not going to go off and share it with somebody else. But if they don't know that, they could do that without not intentionally hurting my feelings or anything. So again, if I don't communicate what that looks like, then I could lose that trust. And next time I feel like, well, I'm not going to say anything to them because they're going to go off and saying things. So I think that it's different for everybody. It looks differently for everybody. So we need to learn how to communicate that.
That's I was thinking when you were saying that too, is it's like in different situations I probably come in with a different level of trust. Like you said, I have to earn it. Like in my mind, I would love to get to a point, it feels like, that I'm just like, anyone I meet, 100% trust until they defy it. That is definitely not happening in my life right now, right? If anyone I meet, I'm like, I'll give you maybe 80%, right?
Yeah, but
Not 80. I was
Brian,
20%.
Is
right?
that even wise when you really think about it?
I know, that's what I'm wondering.
If you walk up like, oh, I'm just going to give you all the trust I got. I mean, trust is a personal gem, I think, a little.
But that's why I think the work is in trusting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, because you're not going to know. You can never know 100%. And things can happen where somebody may behave in a way which they never thought they would behave. Ultimately, the work's got to be with yourself. You've got to build that trust within yourself, with yourself.
That's what I was wondering. If I was so, I don't know what the word would be. If I trusted myself to that deep of a level, would I be possible to go into anything with 100% trust? That seems like it's a very vulnerable position to be in, like you're saying. But like, I'm wondering, like, back to your original question, if that's how we were as a child, if that would be kind of a really nice place to play in the world. You could get hurt. You're very open, but it seems like a pretty, I don't know, magical place to live in. If I had that.
For me, I'm kind of thinking as well that it might not be realistic to think that that's achievable as you sort of have experiences throughout life. But is it more important to have trust within yourself than to have trust with other people? Yeah, and I would say yes. So I think it's the bit we can really work on is the trusting ourselves, which certainly got lost for me when I was drinking. And it's a nice feeling again when you feel that you can trust yourself.
Do you guys have like ways that you see building that?
Well, I feel like I've been such a people pleaser. So people pleasing, but it's huge. I'm always thinking of the other person. So, and it could be from deciding what to make for dinner. Instead of making something that I want to eat, I will make something that my family wants. So it's paying attention. It's having that awareness as, am I doing this for me or am I doing it for somebody else? And by making small little decisions like that, that's where I'm learning to build the trust in myself, that everything I do moving forward is in the best interest of me, not everybody else, but me, like really focusing on myself. And why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? What, all of it, to make sure that it's in line with what is good for me, so I could learn to trust myself. So eventually I don't need to question everything I'm doing and then not judge myself for the decisions that I make, because then I could be upset. I could commit to something that I never wanted to commit to and then cancel. And then I'm judging myself all over again. So again, it's building that trust that I'm moving through this world thinking about myself first. And no matter what it is, how I move forward, it's going to have a positive impact all around. Like, it's not going to make a difference what I make for dinner at all. But I know that it is the right thing for me. And then eventually you train your mind. So then you're not intentionally thinking about every single little thing that you are doing, but it's practice. It's literally practice every day on the little things.
And when you're just to clarify for people, when you're talking about I'm taking care of me, I'm looking out for me, I'm looking at me first, it's not in a selfish, egocentric manner. It's more about,
100% not.
so if you want to elaborate maybe on that, just because I mean, I can just hear people, whoa, I'm supposed to do it for me only, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll give you an example last week. So when I went to church last week, I like to sit in the front, in the middle pews. I like to be close to the altar. I got there a little bit late. So, of course, when I go in, I see where I'm sitting. I see where everybody else is sitting. I don't want to block anybody's view. I go out in the morning. There's very few people that are in the church to begin with. There's lots of seats, but I'm already paying attention to where everyone's sitting. So I don't sit in front of them to block their view. So I sat at the end of the pew where I don't want to sit. As soon as I sat there, I didn't feel comfortable. I knew in my body, I made a decision not for myself. I made it for everybody else to make, because I thought, oh, I don't want to block them. That's being rude. Like all of this internal stuff. So if I trust in myself, noticing that, next time I know, well, no matter where I sit, it's going to be okay. Someone eventually will be blocked. That's not a bad thing. I'm not doing anything. And it's the right decision, because I should sit where I want to sit. It doesn't matter. Anybody sitting in front of anybody else, you're always blocked. So that's where that whole trusting is, where it's like, I'm trusting that I'm doing what feels right for me, and it has nothing to do with anybody else, because somebody sitting behind me, they may not even care. Does
But
that
it's, well, but it's,
elaborate?
yeah, but it's also a matter of if someone like was elderly, it's you're looking out for yourself, and you want to be comfortable, and you want to take care of you because nobody else does. So you take care of you and your mental health and your physical health and your emotional health. But you can't lose sight of empathy for others. But you can't have empathy for others until you understand all of that walk, right? So it's a both and. But the whole, I mean, because uh, yeah, you look out for yourself, and yeah, well, this is, I need to do this for me, but that doesn't mean that if something horrible happened, like some really old person came up and said, oh, Agnes, I really need to sit there, you would gladly
Yeah.
get up and move, right?
Yep.
Even though right now this is where I need to sit for me because I can pay attention better here. This is great.
Yep.
Is that, or am I missing the boat?
No, you're totally, it is correct. It is correct. But, and this applies to people pleasing, right? Because I know that that's something I'm working on. So again,
You're not a doormat anymore.
No, exactly. So again, because I want to work on the people pleasing part, that's where I'm building that trust in myself, that moving forward, I'm not doing something to be a people pleaser, but I'm just doing something that is very authentic to me and genuine to me, which does not, it's not intent. There's no intention of hurting anybody else or anything. It's just that I got to make a decision that is more in alignment with myself.
I was going to just not to talk about it now, but there's also that thing about the difference between sort of trust, or is it trust and faith?
Oh, I know.
I was almost bringing that up too.
That's a big one.
I was going there as well, right? Because they're both. Because faith is really a big, big choice, right? I mean, faith comes from grace. You have grace, you have faith, then you have action. Where, I mean, that's another can of worms.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah, I almost opened that too. That would have been interesting just to see.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, we'll send it through with like what do they call those? Where it's an
addendum.
Teaser.
Oh, a teaser.
We'll throw that in the hat.
For another
All right.
day.
Well, it was wonderful seeing all of you again. That was fun.
Okay.
Trust.
Take care.
I trust that I'll see you next week. Oh boy, that was funny.
I trust that you'll be well.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. If something we said resonated, made you laugh, or made you think, we'd love it if you share it with someone who might need it too. And if you're curious about going alcohol-free or just ready to feel more connected to yourself, check out This Naked Mind. Annie's work brought us all together, and we're so grateful for the impact it's had. On that note, a big thank you to Annie Grace and This Naked Mind for making this podcast possible. We'll see you next time on This Naked Chat.